In lesson 3-6, we're going to be using the Pythagorean theorem to solve problems. So we're going to still be working with our theorem from yesterday, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So in example 1, it says a ramp to a newly constructed building must be built according to the guidelines stated in the Americans with Disabilities Act. If the ramp is 24.1 feet along the top of the ramp is 2 feet off the ground, how far is the bottom of the ramp from the base of the building? So you can see here they already filled in our different things for the picture. So we can see here that the hypotenuse is 24.1. Our height here, which is a leg, is 2 feet, and then we're looking for the other leg. So again, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We don't know a, so a squared plus 2 squared equals 24.1 squared. So a squared plus 4 equals, and we'll want to find out what 24.1 squared is. So 24.1 times 24.1, and that's 580.81. You want to stay away from estimating and rounding your decimals right now. You'll save that and do that at the end. So right now you want to keep your whole number there. So 580.81 is the number that we're working with. So we have 580.81, and then we want to subtract 4 from both sides of our equation. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So a squared equals 576.81. And then at this point, we're going to want to take the square root of a squared, so that way we can get a by itself. And now we'll go back to our calculator and we'll find out what is the square root of 576.81. So the reason why we didn't want to round that before, because now I actually have 0.81 rather than just 0.8, and that'll help us with our answer here. So our answer we'll say is about 24.0 feet, and we do want to include a little line here so we know it is an estimate, and we also want to include that 0 because that tells me it's not exactly 24 feet, but it's rounded 24.0 feet. Again, we know that if you actually square negative 24.0, you're going to also get this answer, but here a negative value doesn't make any sense, so we're just going to leave with positive 24.0 feet. Example number 2, the cross section of a camping tent is shown below. Find the width of the base of the tent. So we want to find this whole width right here. Well, as you can see here, we have a triangle right here. So we want to know what this is right here, this A. And eventually we want to know what the width is. So for starters, I'm going to say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then I don't know what a is, so I'm going to leave it as a squared plus 8 squared, because 8 is right here, it is a leg, and that equals 100 squared. So then we can say a squared plus 64 equals, whoops, I'm sorry, this is just 10 squared, getting a little ahead of myself. And 10 squared is 100. And so then we want to subtract 64 from both sides. So a squared equals, and this would be a 10, and we make that a 9. And so we want to say 6 and 3. And then if we take the square root of both sides, we're going to find that a equals 6 feet. So this distance right here is 6 feet. But as you can see, we actually need for w actually equals 2a. So 2 times these a's, we need an a here and an a here, so we need 2a. So now I'm going to take this 6 and I'm going to plug it into this formula to find out what w is. So I know that w equals 2 times 6, so w equals 12 feet. So the width of the tent is 12 feet. So here we had a multi-step problem. You're going to want to make sure you really read your question carefully and find out what the question is asking, so that way we can get all of our points for the question. A man drives 33 miles east. So if I'm going east, that means I am traveling in this direction, 33 miles. So I'll go ahead and write 33 on the top. And then I'll go 12 miles south. So I'm going to go down 12 miles. And so approximately how far or how many miles is the man from his starting point? So we want to know from here to here, and you'll notice without, if I would have drawn straight lines, this is a right triangle. So we can use Pythagorean theorem to solve this question. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Plug in your two legs. So we have 12 squared plus 33 squared, and that equals c squared. We have 144 plus, and if we need to use our calculators, feel free to do that. 33 times 33, and you can actually use your square button on your calculator if you have one, and that's 1089. And that's still equal to c squared, which is our hypotenuse right there. And then we're going to want to go ahead and add those two values together. So we're going to get 13 there, and also 13 there, and 200. So 1,233 is equal to our hypotenuse squared. And then we'll want to take the square root of both sides, so that way we can find out what the distance was between our starting point and our end point. So we have c is equal to, and we'll have to go to our calculators to work this one out. I'll take the square root of 1,233, which is about 35.1 miles. So we can write that in there. It's about 35.1 miles. You want to make sure you include your units. And again, a negative value does not make sense here at all. So you'll want to make sure you take that into consideration. And that concludes our examples for today. We are just using the Pythagorean theorem from yesterday, just using it to work through problems and problem solve. So you may have more 2, 3, 4-step problems in today's homework. If you want more examples on these word problems, be sure to check out the personal tutors that I've loaded onto Moodle. And then also, if you want, you can check the homework helper, which can help you step by step on all the odd numbered problems.